we are going to be coming up with equations of the lines. It's very important that you remember that an equation of the line is y equals mx plus b. M stands for slope, or the rate, and it's something per something. And that first something is the change in y. The second thing is the change in x. It's talking about the words. When it says something per something, it's not talking about a number at that point. When it's labeling, it's just talking about the words. B in the equation stands for the Y-intercept, which is 0y, and that is where it hits the y-axis. So here we go. It says the contestant at a game show had already won a total of $2,750 when the game show was continued today. He earns an additional $250 for each question he answers correctly today. So today is the starting point. Okay? This amount of money is what he got the day before. So that means starting today, he's starting with $2,500. This says, now it doesn't use the word per, it uses for, but it means the same thing. $250 per each question. So that means that is our slope, $250. And if you were to define the variables, the x value would be the number of questions, and the y value for this would be the money, how much he's gotten, how much he earns. So y equals 250 x plus 2,750. Now, when we look at this, our slope and our y-intercept. Oh, well, we can't really tell where that is, so we might have to figure that out. But we have 2 points right here. So if we're looking at this to know how far it goes up, this is 40 right here. That means each one of these is 10. It is not going up by ones, it's going up by tens. So that is 10, but it's going downhill. So really it's going down 10. And then it's going over how many? Well, this would be 1, this would be -1. So horizontally it's going up by ones. So this is over 2. So my slope would be -10 over 2, which is -5. Well, let's write this in a T-chart real quick. If I write this in a T-chart and I put this first point, which is 140, and I do the other one, oh, I want to do it the other way. Sorry. I want to do -1. -1 is at 50. 1 is at 40. Okay, these are now going up by ones. So I can use my slope. So that means from here to here would be -5. From here to here would be -5. So what's halfway in between? 45. So that is our y-intercept. So y equals -5x plus 45. Okay. Now these are weird new, they're weird new things to say. So hoy, unless you speak Spanish, and then it's hoy. It's talking about if you have a horizontal line, that means this direction, the slope will be 0, and the equation of the line every time would be y equals some number. Okay, over here, I'm guessing Vux. That means if I have a vertical line, we're going to have an undefined slope, and it's going to be x equals some number. So remember that when it's 0 over k, that makes 0. If it's a number over 0, then it's undefined. So this line right here, oops, I'm going to switch back to this. This would be undefined. This would be 0. That's a positive slope, and that's a negative slope. So let's look at this. It says draw a horizontal line wherever you want. So I'm going to draw a horizontal line. Okay, it's not a very good one. And then the first thing says to label 3 points. So I'm going to put a point here, here, and here. If I label this point, I have -4, 2, 0, 2, and 2, 2. I'm going to pick another one just so you can see. 5, 2. So, what do they all have in common? Well, if you look at every single one of those points, each one of them has a 2 in common. The x-coordinate is the same. How about not the x-coordinate? How about the y-coordinate? Sorry about that. Is the same. It's 2. So anytime you have a horizontal line, look right up here, horizontal line says that it's y equals. So y equals, and what number did it equal? Equaled 2. And what's the slope of a horizontal line? Right here, it says 0. Okay, over here, vertical line. I don't know why I didn't pick a negative number, but I didn't. So if I put 3 points on it, I'll pick 4. This would be 4, 5. This one is 4, 2, 4, 0, and 4, -3. Okay, what do they all have in common? This time they have all the x's the same. Okay, so all the x values are the same. So that's why it's x equals a number. So x equals, and what number did it equal? 4. And the slope of vertical line? Undefined. Okay. So, actually, okay, so I'm going to do the horizontal lines and this orange. So if I have a horizontal, that's there and that's there. So if it's a horizontal line, that means it's y equals. So B is y equals and C is y equals. Oops, it doesn't equal 0 though. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry about that. I meant to hit this button. Okay. And on the slope on those is 0. So now let's find out what y equals. So for B, we go up 1, 2, 3, so that was y equals 3. C, we go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so it's at -5. Okay, so then the vertical lines, so that means A and D, it says that if it's vertical, it's x equals, so x equals. Okay, it says the U, so that means that's undefined. So let's find out what x equals. We go over 1, 2. So this one is 2. And if I want D, I go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm sorry, but this would be -2. Sorry about that. Okay, so we just talked about this. Vertical lines are x equals, so that means this one's going to be vertical. horizontal or y equals? X equals is vertical, horizontal. So I already know what I'm going to be doing. So I know on line E that it's x equals, so I go over to x equals 2, and all of these points is when x equals 2. So I'm going to draw a vertical line right here and call it E. Then y equals 5, so when I go to 5 on the y-axis, I could put a bunch of points here, and this is F. Then x equals -4, so I go down to -4. And I can put some points. So I go like this, and I label that G. And then last but not least is when y is -3. So it could be any of these points. And then that is H. Okay, so Hoy and Vux. So Hoy says it's y equals, so y equals has a 0 slope and it is a horizontal line. We get it from right here. Horizontal, 0, y equals. Then x equals, right here, it says it's a vertical line. And the middle says undefined, so it's undefined. So this next one says a line has a slope of 0, so that means we're dealing with Hoy. It passes through this point right here, so we know it's y equals. So if I look at that point, what does y equal? X is here, y is here, so y equals -1. This is undefined slope, so that's Vux. So that means it's x equals. Again, this is the x value, this is the y value, so x equals -6. Okay, let's look at this. It says Cyrus and Ava are pool cleaners who have been hired to drain a community pool at the end of the summer. They are comparing the rates at which the two pools drain. Write an equation that represents the relationship. So it says Cityscape diving pool is at a water level of 14 feet. So when I have this pool, I don't know how to, we'll draw it like this. The pool, it's at 14 feet when it's, oh, you can't even see it. Put it over here, 14 feet. That's where it's starting. So if that's where it's starting, that means it's at 0, 14. That means that my rate, which is feet per hour, it means my hour is my x and my feet is my y. So I do y equals 14 feet. What does it say for my rate? 3 feet per hour. But it's draining, so it's not getting higher, it's getting lower, so -3x. Okay, so now let's go down to the next one. This one, we have to find the y-intercept. So again, remember that it's hours, comma, feet. So Bayside Pool is at a water level of 15 feet after draining for 2 hours. So 2 hours, 15 feet. And then it says 12 feet after draining for 4 hours. So 4, 12. So I find the slope. So that would be 12 minus 15 over 4 minus 2. So that would be -3 over 2. Now, you can do it one of 2 ways, one of 3 ways, really. So if I was to draw a table, and I have 0 to 4, because it says the x's are going up by 2, and if this is 15, or sorry, going down, oh, sorry, going up by 2. This is 12. These are going down by 3, and these are going up by 2. We can go backwards and find what minus 3 gets me 15. That would be 18. That's one way that we could have found the y-intercept. The other way is doing our slope formula and doing negative 3 over 2 equals y minus 15 over 0 minus 2. Multiply and get 6 equals 2 times y minus 15. 6 equals 2y minus 30. And then solve this equation. And still would have ended up with 18. Now this is a third way that you could do it. You could just plug it into this right here. Oops, I forgot the x. So I could pick the same point, 215, and plug it in. So I plug in 15 for y. Slope is negative 3 over 2. My x value is 2 plus b. Okay, so if I do this, 15 equals negative 6 over 2. That would be 15 equals negative 3 plus b. Add my 3 to both sides, and I still equal 18 is equal to b. So the equation for this one, where am I going to put it? I'll put it right here. Would be y equals negative 3 over 2x plus 18. I don't care which way you find the y-intercept. All three of them will work. Okay. Last but not least, we have a slope. And we have a point. Okay, again, we could do the table way where we have 312 and we go back. And so this is 8 over 1. So if I have these going up by 1, that means that something minus 8 will get 12. That would be 20. Something minus 8 will get 20. So that would be 28. Something minus 8 would get 28. So that would be 36. Or, I'm just going to make it a little bigger just so that I have more space. I could still remember when we do this, 0y is my y-intercept. So negative 8 equals y minus 12 over 0 minus 3. Negative 8 equals y minus 12. If I multiply negative 8 by negative 3, I get 24 is equal to y minus 12. Add 12 and get 36 equals y. Same thing. Or we can use the third way, which is y equals mx plus b. Replace the y with the 12, the m with negative 8, and the x with 12 plus b. So 12 equals negative 96. How about I plug that in totally wrong, you guys? We're not supposed to plug in 12 there. The x value is 3. Negative 23 plus negative 24. Oh, sorry, guys. So I get 36 is equal to b. So it doesn't matter which way we do it. We still end up with negative 8x plus 36. So this one we have to find the slope. So if I find the slope, I do 7 minus a negative 1, 1 minus 3. 8 over negative 2 equals negative 4. So if I do a table, I have 1, 7, and I was to go backwards. Okay, remember that's over 1. So if this goes up by 1, it's something minus 4 equals 7. Wouldn't that be 11? Okay, I could do the slope way, which is negative 4 equals y plus 1 over 0 minus 3. So negative 4 equals y plus 1 over negative 3. So that would get 12 equals y plus 1. Subtract 1 from both sides and I get 11 equals y. Or I could do it this way and replace y with negative 1, negative 4, 3 plus b. Negative 1 equals negative 12 plus b. Add 12. So, whichever way you do it, you will come out with negative 4x plus 11.